medieval torture device, Iron Age back massager, industrial potato masher? Find out today on this episode of My Favorite Things. Fashions of earlier eras, most notably those of the Victorian era, were known for their beauty and intricate details. Note this gown right here, which is from approximately 1866, has beautiful ruffing along each of the sleeves, and the bottom of the gown actually has two layers with a small layer of ruffing, also known as fluting, right here, and then a larger version as well. Not only would these things need to be made by hand, they would need to be maintained as well for the life of the garment. Let's take a look also at this gown from the late 1880s, early 1890s. There's a lot of beautiful and intricate detail at the bottom of this bustled gown, including just some folds that are sewed and ruched together, and again some pleating or fluting that you're going to find at the bottom. This wouldn't be able to stay in there all the time, and particularly when these outfits were being worn, but would have to be maintained. Just like you would iron something, you would use a fluting iron for all of these little details. So just like a regular hot flat iron, this item was heated up. There's a plate that's on the inside, and you'll see the wheel and the flat mechanism lock in with each other, and you would slowly go through and reflute each of the little sections whenever you were to launder it. This would also happen on blouses, on the cuffs, and on the collars. So you would take a small section, iron it, bring it through again, iron the next section. There were also, along with this wheel version, versions of the fluting iron that had a rocking mechanism for the top of it, and some that were probably very practical for the longer hems for bottoms of skirts that had a crank mechanism so the fabric could just feed all the way through. This fluting iron was made in Buffalo, New York, and it has a patent of December 1878, which was then renewed also in 1888. It is from the Shepherd Hardware Company, which was most known for making cast iron banks. You've probably seen some banks that are very similar to theirs out at flea markets and in auctions and whatnot. So, let's see how it works. The base of the fluting iron has a metal plate on the inside. The plate says, put this on the stovetop. I'm not going to put it on the stovetop. You would have normally put it in with a coal stove, and I decided I'm going to bake it. So I set my oven to 425, and I'm going to place it inside the oven for about 25 minutes or half an hour or so, and then pull it out and let's see what happens. Now that I've let the metal plate heat up for a while, I'm going to take it out of the oven. The plate goes inside the fluting iron right here. I'm going to set it in and then let the whole thing just kind of heat up a little bit before we take some fabric and see how it goes. I've zoomed us in nice and close for our first experiment with using the fluting iron. I've chosen a little piece of fabric that I cut about the same length as the fluting iron itself. I know that the fabric needs to be a little wet. They would usually either use water or vinegar during this period, so I'm going to spray the fabric a little bit. I've had my fluting iron sitting and kind of gathering the heat for a little over 5 minutes or so. So let's see what happens. So I'll put my fabric right on top of it, place here. Oh. And we have some lovely and slightly fluted fabric. I think that we can do better. Let's throw the whole thing in the oven. I've heated up the entire iron to see if we can get it to work a little bit better. So I'm going to take it out of the oven. And I'm going to need to keep one of my oven mitts on. So let's take a new piece of fabric, totally unfluted. Let's moisten it first. Both sides. I'm going to place it on the fluting iron, which is sizzling and cooking the fabric now. And let's use the wheel to wheel across the fabric, and voila, much more beautifully ruched item. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of My Favorite Things as we took a look at the fluting iron. If you like this video, like, subscribe to my channel, What's Up Welsican, and I hope to see you soon.